man will already be intubated. If not, go ahead and intubate him. Okay. He's got a really anterior larynx, so you have to kind of take your time with it if you are intubating him. But intubate him 7.5 tubes, same as what we're using on Airman as well. We have to use kind of a smaller size tube. It's not a really good area. Okay? So he will be in his bed, he has his gown on, he'll be intubated. This may still be attached. Now we've got this tubing that will go to our ventilator. He's got an arterial line in. Okay? He's hooked up to, he's got a VAP system hooked up, got a pressure bag going. This is quite standard, transducer holder. Transducers also may be actually attached to their arm at heart level. Okay, so they may not be on a stand like this, but they may be just attached to their arm. Okay, just to be aware of maybe in a different spot. Okay, we'll have a monitor here for you. Okay, of course he's not really alive, so you won't get a reading. So a suggestion for you, if you want to, is you're gonna have to take the monitor with you, is just put it on somebody's finger who's taking part in the transport, so you will get some readings. Okay, just makes it a little bit more realistic. Okay, so this will be all ready to go. You will have to go grab a ventilator, okay, and bring it over. The settings are in your lab manual, what to set the ventilator to hook it up to the simulator. Okay, you will also, now Janine might have the suction regulators up here for you, so you can hook up your inline suction. Okay, set it to the appropriate value, get your bagger, hook it up to oxygen. This poor guy's just been in a terrible accident. He's got a chest tube in as well. His chest tube is right here. It is also going to be hooked up to suction. So this is a really good time to review chest drainage. Okay. Yeah, good old chest drainage. This is an atrium type. It is the Oasis, so it's dry. He has also been catheterized, so he has a urinary catheter in, and this is our urine bag. Okay. This is quite common. Usually an ICU patient will have way more IV bags, etc. hanging as well. Okay, so this is him in his room, ready to be transported somewhere. We're taking him somewhere. Okay, so chest tube will be going. So we can turn this on. Oh, it's already on. We got a heck of a leak, but that's okay. Ignore it. Got a little bit of drainage in from his chest tube. Looks a little bloody. I gotta run away and get a Kleenex because my nose is running. Feeling sorry for the poor guy. So when you're looking at the atrium, start thinking about how do you set it up? How do you set the pressure here? How do you set the pressure here? Or we've got them set at 20 centimeters of water. Chest drainage, how do you know it's working? How do you know if it's leaking or not? Okay, so those are the kind of things you should kind of think about when you're actually going to do this lab. Okay, urinary catheters, well, we don't do those. It's just there because it's pretty, okay? Something to talk about with your friends and look underneath the blankets, okay? He is in a 30-degree angle because he has a VAP tube in, okay? It's not hooked up to suction, but if you wanted to be, we could hook up another suction regulator over there and hook that up as well and have that going at 20 to 30 millimeters mercury. Usually in a unit there will be 3 or 4 suction regulators right on the wall for you to use. Okay, very close by. Good so far? Awesome. All right. So let's put them on the ventilator. So we have to use pressure control. What's frequency? 14? Okay. My lab's over there. PI? 20? Okay, TI will be whatever, FiO2, 40? Peak? 0. Right. Cannot use PEEP with any of our simulators. Okay, it'll blow their lungs. All right. Okay. It's going to alarm until you set all the alarms up. We won't get a really big volume back, so don't be too concerned. So we're getting tidal volumes about 185. Okay. So set your volumes appropriately. Okay, open oxygen, disable it. Okay. So he's ventilating. So far so good? Okay. So the lab has you make a list of everything that you're going to need to take with you on your transport. Okay. So what are some things we are going to need to take this patient to another floor?
Rescue equipment.
What's that?
Rescue equipment.
Rescue equipment like what?
BBM, mask,
Okay.
oxygen.
So bagger, mask. So what you're going to do for this lab is collect everything that you think. Make a list first, so you don't forget anything. Make a list of what you need, and then go and collect what you're going to need to take this patient somewhere else. Okay. So you need a bagger, mask. So we have a bagger here. Okay. So bagger will go with the patient. Right now it's got the flex adapter on it, but we would also grab a mask as well. Okay. We're not going to take extra trolleys with us. Everything's going on the bed. Okay. And still have room for the patient, hopefully. Okay. So what else do we need?
Portable suction? Or would you not have that with you? You don't like it?
I don't like it, but it's a good thought, and some hospitals will take portable suction with them.
Okay.
Okay.
Why not then?
Because you're going somewhere where there is suction,
Sure.
right? There's going to be suction available, oxygen, gases, electrical, wherever you're going in the hospital. So if you're halfway there and all of a sudden this patient is, we've got a suctioner right now, we'll just scoot into a room and hook them up to suction. Okay. But you could take a portable suction with you, absolutely, except you're still going to have to go somewhere to plug it in,
Oh, that's true.
right? If it's electrical, if it's charged, which most of them are not, you may be lucky to have one with a rechargeable battery. St. Paul's Hospital will take suction with them, others won't. Okay, so it just depends on the hospital protocol. Not that it's wrong, Barry, it's not wrong. Okay?
It's okay, I can take
It's
it.
not wrong. Barry's made that face. What else do you want to take with you?
What are monitoring, like ECG, BP, saturation?
Everything. You ought to take the same monitoring that the patient is on right now with you. So there are portable units that will monitor arterial blood pressure, ECG, saturation, heart rate, ICP if needed as well. Okay, so you're going to take your monitor and plunk it at the end of the bed so you can see it while you're scooting them down the hallway. Okay, so it's all one unit. So in this case, we're going to use just the pulse oximeter. Okay, it does have a rechargeable battery in it, and we will put it at the end of the bed. Okay, so that's what the pulse ox is for. What else?
Ventilator.
Yes, when you're gonna need a ventilator.
Oxygen.
Yes. Nice. So LTV, good time to review the LTV. We're gonna hook it up to cylinder. So you're gonna need a cylinder. Now our LTVs do have an oxygen stand on them, so you can just take the oxygen tank and put it into the stand and secure it. So Heather's been really mean, and she's actually had you calculate how long your cylinder's gonna last using all of the factors. Oh, isn't that awful? Okay, you had to do it back in the oxygen therapy lab, so we're just kind of bringing it forward again, just to remind you that you should know how to do this, okay? There'll be a regulator and a key. Okay, it's a good time to review. How do you put a regulator on a tank? Put it on, check it, make sure you've got enough gas to get you to where you have to go and back again, okay, using your LTV. Okay. So that will be there as well. I think I've given you the amount of time it's going to take, 20 minutes. Okay. What else do we need? Anything else? What about this? It's got to come with us, okay? But if you have too many things on wheels while you're trying to wheel the bed, it gets quite cumbersome, especially when you're trying to get into elevators, etc. That's why we're not going to drag this behind us and this. There's really only usually two people going, the RT and the nurse, especially if the patient's intubated, okay? We may also call up a porter as well to come help us, okay? But there's going to be an RT and a nurse going with this particular patient. The tank, if you didn't have anything on your stand for your ventilator, you could take the tank out of this stand, and there is a spot under the bed for the tank. So you could throw it underneath there and still hook up your LTV, okay? All right. So IV, beds will have a portable IV hole on them. Okay, and you're gonna hook up your IV bags on that. Take this off, the bracket, put it on the hole. Okay, so you still have your transducer coming with, it's all gonna come with you, okay? Other IV bags can hang off of here as well. So everything is in one spot. Just less stuff to take with you. Okay, so we've got bagger, mask. I would also take an OPA with me as well. Okay. Some places have a little box that will have emergency airway supplies that they can put under the bed and take with them. Some students like to take the whole intubation box. That's a little overkill. Okay. But an OPA, a mask, and your bagger will definitely get you to where you have to go. Even if you have to scoot into the ER and re-intubate, you could do that. All right. So on the end of the lab, there is a transport checklist. Okay, you'll go through your transport checklist to make sure you've got everything. It lists what you need there as well. Okay, you'll need medications with you. You won't have to get the medications, but the nurse will have all the patient's medications, especially if they're due for a certain med at a certain time. When you're gone, you'll have an infusion pump to make sure the meds are going through. End-tidal CO2, if you are monitoring end-tidal CO2, you would also take that monitor along with you. Okay? So there's a whole bunch of checks you have to do, so you would check the patient through. There's some monitoring sheets, I think, in here as well. It's all part of the monitoring. Ventilator monitoring sheet you can use. Check your ventilator out. Make sure the same settings are on your LTV. Switch them over. Make sure you're still stable before you move. Okay. And make sure your oxygen's on. SATs are still good. Okay. And then you would coordinate with the nurse as to where everything has been moved over. He can now lay flat because we're going to be disconnecting the VAP tube for transport. So this will be disconnected and capped. This will be disconnected. This will be on the other ID pole. Okay, what are we gonna do with chest drainage and urinary bag?
Can we
Urinary
repeat?
bag just stays.
Yeah.
Okay, just stays on the bed, goes with them. What about chest drainage?
On the bed?
Leave it on the bed, you betcha. The only thing with this now is we're gonna turn off the suction, disconnect it from suction. So we'll disconnect it from here and turn it off. Okay, or clamp it, they may just put a clamp on it. But we have to disconnect it from the wall. So for that short period of time, there won't be any active suction. He'll still be able to drain anything from his chest tube into the collection chamber. There just won't be that active suction occurring. Okay? So that will still be on the bed. Okay, and that way we can lay him flat, as long as he doesn't have a head injury, and away we go. Oh, he's got a friend. His friend can go with him.